Hello everybody, welcome back to another edition of the EcoStruxure Machine Expert HVAC. I'm your host, Leandro Mada, and in this video what we're going to see are the global and local values that we have for the embedded display. So let's go to the software. Okay, so for those who don't know, okay, we have the variables, the globals and local variables for the programming. If you were working with the PLC part, the programming, those variables stay there, okay? And now if we're working with the display part, we have the global and local variables related to the display, okay? They are not linking together, okay? So if you were working, for example, here and you create a GBL, for example, this one, CNT, we are not able to see that over here, okay? Because that is only for the PLC part. Now that we're working with the display, we have global variables over here, okay, and here you can double click on variables. Don't pay attention to this, but with this icon you can create a new variable. I don't know why it has the name record, okay, but it's a variable. Maybe the record because it's a table and it just put the things, but okay, it's just called record. Here we just need to add the name of this local variable, var, and here we just define the type, okay, for example, bool. We have possibility to create an array, the number of elements that we want, and we also have the possibility to use the attribute. At this point I will leave it without any attribute. We're gonna talk about that later. So here we just define the variable. Here we have the possibility to have initial value and also the description. So this is the global one. It's going to be shared to the whole display part. Now, if you use, for example, a page, when you open the page, you have these local variables. You can double click over here and you have this one to new record, select the variable, for example, underscore x local. And here is going to be the boolean. Okay. Now I have defined this variable. I'm going to, I believe, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Yes, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. You can do it. The right click is not working. Okay, but you just do the shortcut. Now, if you want to delete this, you can use this the delete, but you can also have the possibility to use this icon over here, remove record. Now that you have already defined this local variable, we have the possibility to use that. So, as I mentioned before, we have the drag and drop. For example, in the global one, we have drag and drop, and depending on the option that we are working with, we have different styles of things that we can do. Okay, so I'm going to this case, edit, and this one's going to be the local one. Okay. So this is the global one and this one is the local one. So you can use it. Now, if you try to use, for example, on the page number 2, let's just delete this from the previous video. You can drag and drop it. You have the icon, but nothing's going to happen because that local variable is just for that page that you have created. Okay. What you can do is to use the global one, as you can see over here. So here you need to pay attention. If the variable that you want to use is going to be used in different pages, then you just need to go for the global one. If the variable that you are going to use is going to be just for one specific page, then using some local. Okay. Now, the other thing is that the local variables and the global variables can be used like a drag and drop in the script or procedures that we have. So, for example, in this case, I had this procedure. We're going to talk about that later, but I have a script, an action, a procedure that I can use over here. So we can use the drag and drop in order to use the variable, and also we can use the drag and drop for the global ones. If you want to use, for example, one of these ones that came from the PLC, you will get an error. Okay, well, it will not allow you, but if you want to type it, in the possibility you have the possibility to drag and drop it, but that's a mistake because it's not possible. If you want to use that like that, you will get an error. So for example, if I use iBar+1, compile, let's see if it happens. Okay, let's simulate this just to show you what happened. You should be able to get an error because you cannot access to that variable. Okay, no. Okay, but you couldn't use it. So just to prove you that you cannot use it, I don't know why it allowed me here, maybe because it's simulation. For example, let's go into this procedure, the global one. So I'm going, as you can see, drag and drop, it doesn't work. So I'm going to tap it manually. iBar+1. And then what I'm going to do is to use iBar here to be called. And then I will simulate this. Okay. Now you get an error. Okay. Because it's trying to execute this and the object is not found. Okay, which is all right, because the object is not called. Let me check why this one didn't work. I believe because I didn't call that. Okay, iBar, just to show you that it works. It's not a mistake or it's not a bug. So if we use a global call, enter call, is a local procedure, so it needs to be called in a local action. So now if I remove this and then I try to download, you see that there is no update. Now I get the error here, object not found. Okay, and I know that is because this one is there. Now if I download it, there we go, it just works. So in order to do that action, there are different things to do, and I will show that later when we see the different procedures and functions that we can use. But the idea now is to show you that you have global variables, you have local variables are different from the ones that you have on the PLC. Okay, on the programming part or on the configuration, there are different variables, and these variables are located inside this part of the display. Okay, so this is it for the local and global variables. Okay, then later we're gonna go into details about the attributes that we have, but that's it for now. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I see you on the next one.